Hold on to your butt.
Hello, those of you with nothing better to do. This is Two Assholes and Beer. We give you exactly what we promise in the title, two assholes getting belligerently drunk and talking a lot of shit. My name is Dick Chubbins. My legal name is Richard Chubbins III. My family calls me Dick and my friends call me Chubb. Since we're all fucking friends here, just call me Chubb. This is my co-host, Harry Ballschwitz. Say hello, Harry.
Ahoy!
Excellent.
Does that make me a butt pirate already?
I mean, you were the one drinking Kraken. So,
that's true. I am drinking Kraken, even though it's called Two Assholes and Beer. I mean, I already went a little rogue there.
I mean, that just makes you more of an asshole because you're not drinking beer.
This is true.
So, that's false advertising. We don't exactly give you what we were selling to you in the title.
Yeah, so fuck you.
Yeah, needless to say, I'm just going to give out a trigger warning. If anything that we say offends you, go fuck yourself and listen to something else. And yeah, let's just jump right into it.
Works for me.
All right, so in other news, Bert and Ernie are faggots.
Yeah, they're popping the old Peter, so yeah, I was really surprised with that. Actually, I guess I wasn't surprised with it, but yeah. Then what were we going for? A little bit of Bert and Ernie erotica fan fiction going on?
Yeah. Did you find something with that, man?
I did, and it is glorious.
All right, just read it out, dude.
Okay, so this is called "End of Normal Self" and has a smut warning.
Oh God.
Okay, so I'm gonna read this out for you guys.
Okay.
The two boys ran up the stairs. It was a little hard for their tiny legs, and before they knew it, they were both on top of Ernie's bed. Then Ernie pushed Bert down on the bed and leaned down and kissed him. "Ernie," Bert moaned. In between the soft, wet kisses Ernie gave him, Bert sat up a little bit, letting Ernie rip his shirt off. It was sewn onto his body, so it took a little time, and it was a bit painful, but he was patient. Ernie parted from Bert's lips and began leaving soft and gentle kisses down his neck, which let Bert give out a satisfying moan. Ernie then sat up over Bert and took off his shirt, throwing it onto the floor, along with some of his flesh that was sewn into his shirt. Ernie laid down, and then Bert moved himself around. Now making it that he was on top, Bert smirked, knowing it was his turn to satisfy Ernie. Could you imagine if this was actually like an episode of Bert and Ernie on Sesame Street? Like, I feel like we're getting towards that, but I wouldn't complain. I mean, then you would question how many people would actually jerk off to this. And the answer is not zero. You know it's not zero.
Exactly, yeah. People would jerk off to anything, but I just feel like Bert and Ernie just sodomized my childhood. Quite literally, I'll add.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing here. So,
I mean,
we're gonna
spongy puppet dicks, difficult but not impossible to masturbate to. I mean, do you think that their cocks are the same spongy material as the rest of them? So when they try to insert it, they flatten and they have to really push to get it in there.
Well, it would have to be, because otherwise they'd be walking around with chubs 24/7. It'd be really obnoxious on the show. It'd be like, "Hey, Bert," and he has this big old raging erection in his pants is showing. It would. Huh?
That would be a good lesson for children, though, what to do with a boner in public, because that's something that they should teach in public school, man.
They should. You gotta tuck it to your waistband or go rub one out in the bathroom.
Or my personal favorite, just shove it to the right hand side and put your hand in your pocket.
He's gotta get a good old grip of it.
Exactly, because people think you're just grabbing your phone in your pocket. They'll never know.
Hold on one second, my phone's buzzing. Just be like, your hand in your pocket, gripping it for like 10 minutes straight, and you're like, what? Bert leaned down and kissed Ernie's lips. His tongue begged for entrance, and Ernie finally let him in.
Oh no.
Their tongues battled for dominance. But speaking of dominance, who would be the catcher and pitcher in this situation?
Oh, Ernie's definitely a power bottom.
You think he's a power bottom?
Yeah, because, here's the thing. Bert, since he's penetrating Ernie, he feels like he's fucking Ernie, but we all know that Ernie's controlling the whole damn thing. He has his hips down like a nice gyrating motion. That's true. He's dominating Bert with his anus.
Now, are they dry-dogging it, or are they, are they lubing it up, or what do you think? Do you think they're, do you think they like a little bit of friction to, increase the intensity of it, or?
I think it just depends on their mood. Whenever Bert can't put up with Ernie's shit, he just jumps in dry. But a lot of times, I don't know. I think there's some lube play, some rubber ducky formula. I don't know.
Rubber ducky, you're the one.
Oh,
you
God.
make fucking so much fun.
Oh no, rubber ducky is Ernie's dildo.
Oh, God.
You make bath time lots of fun. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of you.
My brain just derailed. So, let's continue with the reading. Bert parted for Ernie's lips and kissed down his muscular body. When he reached his waist, he unzipped the pants and slid them off along with his underwear, soon revealing Ernie's very hard member.
Okay, so, they're not super spongy. Cool.
Yeah, so at least we got an answer to that, so we know they're not spongy. But are they, rock hard always? I mean, I guess on the show they might be because they're with each other, but...
Well, I like to think that, they do go flaccid and all of that, but since they're puppets, every time they get a hard-on, there's a weird sound effect, like a... Or that sound effect that you hear for a plank or something, like the.
Possibly. Now the question is with that, are they just never mind. We're just going to continue the reading. Bert, Ernie moaned, putting his head back. Bert grinned and opened his mouth and put it in.
Oh wow!
Well, at least we know who's the. Ernie moaned again as Bert moved his fabricy tongue around roughly. He then moved his mouth up and down. Ernie moaned in a yell as Bert satisfied his friend. What? His friend? Is he referring to Rubber Ducky, or what's going on here? I mean,
oh God, I don't even know.
Once Bert stopped, huh?
Maybe this is before they were a gay couple.
I mean,
and they were just friends.
So they're just roommates blowing each other.
Stranger things have happened.
That's true. Does Elmo come into this too, with Mr. Noodle, or because he calls it Mr. Noodle. You gotta think it's his dick. It's like Mr. Noodle.
I like to think that Mr. Noodle is a Catholic priest on the run.
He could be.
Elmo is very childish. I'm pretty sure that would be right up any priest's alley.
That's true. So, I wonder, does Roman Polanski jerk off to this, or how does that...
Oh, no doubt.
No doubt? You think so? Or does he use this for the little kids? He gets, a little kid in the room, and he watches this with them, and it's kind of like the mood setter?
Well, the good thing about this is, it's multi-purpose. It's a multi-purpose tool for personal pleasuring and also for amping up little children. You can use.
So what you're saying is when Roman Polanski, Mr. Polanski, when he doesn't have anybody with him, he can just kind of, go with it. And when you got a kid, it's kind of like, hey, maybe we're going to have like some Bert and Ernie and chill or something, or how does that?
Yeah, exactly. Because, since he likes to diddle little kids, of course he's going to masturbate to, childish entertainment. But also, that's how he gets kids in the first place. He's like, yeah, let's turn on some Sesame Street. And the kids are like, I don't think I've seen this Sesame Street before. He goes, no, it's okay. It's a really good episode. He kind of gets closer, does the whole arm motion, slowly grabs the kid's hand, puts it below the belt, that whole sleazeball thing.
You want to meet my rubber ducky?
Yeah, exactly.
Or my Mr. Noodle?
Put down the ducky if you want to play the saxophone with your mouth.
Basically. Now, does that make what's his name? Jared, the Subway guy? Do you think he would have a little bit in on this too?
Possibly. I don't know. I like to think that Jared's whole thing was all food fetish, though.
Yeah, but how do you have a food fetish with a 6-year-old? Because there is documentation of him hanging out with 6-year-olds. So the dude was a creeper, but.
I like to think, though, that, when Jared went to prison, the guard put him in a cell with, a Filipino and a giant black guy and asked, now, do you want the 6-inch or the foot-long, buddy?
What about, the kid size? I mean, maybe there's an Asian in there, too? I mean, a Filipino kind of would be, but...
But the kid size is what got him there in the first place, though.
This is true. So where were we with this? Once Bert stopped, he moved up and kissed Ernie, who kissed back.
Oh, no.
Ernie then moved Bert onto his side and then back, so now Ernie was on top again. Ernie leaned down and kissed Bert's neck. Soon enough, though, he began to nibble on his neck, letting Bert grunt and a moan like a nasal congested Australian man.
Oh, God.
So, we have the Land Down Under theme playing right here from, what is that, Men at Work?
Yeah, he was 6'4" and full of muscles. I said, do you speak my language? I love that video.
It's a good song.
That is, yeah, and it's the music video, hands down, it's still the funniest music video I've ever seen in my life.
I'll have to watch it again. I've seen it a couple times. I don't know if I would say it's the funniest, but I do like the song. It's been mostly for me. I'm just oh, this is a good song, and I'm listening to it, even though it's something you probably wouldn't think I would listen to.
Well, yeah. But, the thing about that video, though, is you get the general impression that nobody in the band thought they were going to become as famous as they were, so they're just goofing around, and it's a terrible, terrible video, but it's so fucking funny.
It's always a good thing, though, when you got people who don't think they're going to be as famous as they were, and it kind of comes out as they're more just them natural selves rather than putting on an act.
Oh, yeah, there's a part where they're all just dancing on top of a sand dune, and they turn around and hop away like fucking kangaroos.
Yeah, see? They didn't give a fuck. I'm sure they probably did, because they got money, but...
Yeah.
A nasal congested Australian man without his Nasonex.
Oh, no.
It wouldn't be a surprise if there was a hickey left when they would wake up the next morning.
Oh, God.
Ernie then slid off Bert's pants. They were sewn on as strong, so it took less time. What? I don't get that. Okay, whatever. Without hesitation, he entered.
I think the writer was losing some blood in his brain going down to somewhere else, so there's going to be some typos. He wasn't thinking too clearly.
Yeah, I feel like the guy who wrote this was jerking off while he wrote it.
Yeah.
Let's see who wrote this. Oh! The end just says fucking kill me in bold underscored letters. This was written by, the guy's name was Sex. S-E-C-K-S. Sex. And it has 886 views, 16 likes, and 93 comments. Wow. And it's hashtag Bert, hashtag children's TV show, hashtag Ernie, hashtag I want to fucking die.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Needless to say, this could not be written by a normal human being.
I mean, that's an accurate assumption. We're Where were we with this?
Yeah, I want to know who's the power bottom.
Well, I thought we came up to the conclusion it was definitely Ernie. But I would consider it a little bit different now. Like, the question is, does Ernie just at times get so pissed at Bert because Bert annoys the piss out of him that he's just like, you know what, I'm going to fuck you in the ass tonight, raw dog in it, and we're just going to, no loop just to get back at him. It's hurting him, but he doesn't even care at this point. He's just like, you're just going to take it. Or how does that...
I don't know, or do they, like, switch it up like that gay sex scene in Bruno when they're, like, spinning each other around on their cocks?
Bruno. I haven't seen that.
That one, you would get a kick out of that one. It's Sacha Baron Cohen being himself.
Yeah.
There's one part, though, where he tries to make a sex tape with Ron Paul.
Yeah, I did see that. I watched that in theaters when it came out. I just forgot about it. I do remember that now, because I was dying, like, what the fuck, when I was watching that? I do remember that.
Yeah, it was...
That was an interesting... He's an interesting person. That I do consider, or not consider, but I do question, was a lot of that actually real, or was it kind of... Well, you know what? I'm going to go with real, because I feel like Ron Paul wouldn't have been any part of that if he knew it was a movie.
No, absolutely not. And, I feel like that was just like, him.
Did he ask Ron Paul for a hernia check or something, and that's just, like, where it went? Or how did that...
I can't remember. All I remember is that he has Ron Paul in this hotel room, and Ron Paul looks like he's panicking. Like, what the fuck is going on?
I remember that. And he's just like, fuck it, I'm out. And he just, like, walks out of the room. It's been a while, so I might be wrong with that, but I'm pretty sure it was something along the lines of that. Yeah, it was... Yeah. Okay, without hesitation, he entered inside, and Bert let out a moan.
Oh, so Ernie's fucking Bert.
So we know who's the receiver, who's the catcher and pitcher at this point. Although they could switch, they might switch. We don't know.
They might. You know what? Have you ever asked gay people, like a gay couple, who's the pitcher and catcher in their relationship?
My answer I've gotten from people with that, this has always been kind of like a flip-flop. It goes back and forth. It's just kind of like they rotate.
Okay.
What has it been for you?
I've only asked one, and he said, and he told me that he loves catching, because he was like, because he asked my girlfriend at the time about does he ever hit your G spot or whatever, and she's like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, I just love that feeling. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense.
I worked with a gay guy once who was openly super gay, did drag, did all of that, and we got into the conversation about this where, it was like, hey, are you the catcher? Are you the pitcher? How does that work? I don't know. And he came out and basically said he was mostly the catcher. Yeah. But they did switch it up to make things interesting. But he was usually the catcher. So I feel like that stereotype of the catcher and the pitcher does kind of fit into where you would assume where somebody's kind of generally the catcher and someone's generally the pitcher, but maybe they switch it up just for, making things exciting.
That's interesting, though.
So maybe Bert and Ernie did kind of switch it up, but Bert was the catcher generally.
Huh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. Ernie does have the more dominating personality. In fact, Bert is very uptight.
Yeah, so what would be Bert? No, it was Ernie that was... Wait, let me think. Yeah, Ernie was more uptight. Bert was like this all, hey, Bert, all the time, right?
Yeah, Ernie was like the free-spirited whatever, and Bert was always like, Ernie!
That's right. I'm getting them mixed up. I've always had trouble with them, like, trying to remember who's who. I don't know why. But I would say Ernie is definitely the pitcher. Okay. In general. Not always, but in general. Maybe always. I don't know, maybe. We'd have to ask them.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have them on as guests.
Do you think they ever, had, a threesome with Mr. Noodle or Big Bird?
Big Bird, definitely.
Big Bird, definitely? Why's that?
Because why the fuck not? I'd be
That's
curious
true.
too, yeah. I like to think that they definitely had a three-way with the Count. That could get very interesting.
One cock. Two cock.
Yeah, or like when they ejaculate, he gets magnifying glass and starts counting their sperm. Like, I feel like he'd be very into it.
What if the Count was like hardcore conservative though, and he's like, he was just like, one dead baby, or like counting the amount of sin that was within them or something, like hardcore or whatever. Like he was just like this religious freak. Although it'd be kind of weird because he is a vampire, but been weirder things.
I mean, well, like it is kind of funny too because like most of the black metal guys are like super conservative.
Are they really?
Yeah, like Varg. For those of you listening who don't know black metal, it's a type of music that that's mostly famous for the second wave in Norway and Scandinavia. And it's a bunch
That's basically what it sounds like.
Yeah, they burn churches, they paint their faces, they stab their bandmates, they're psychotic, but I love their music.
But that's very kind of like ironic that they're super conservative, that you're saying, and they burn churches.
Yeah, it's really weird, but they're conservative to the point where they want to go back to the old traditions, like the old gods and shit like that.
Oh, okay, so more pagan we're going with.
Yeah, they're like pagan, they're like conservative Vikings.
I can see that.
Who also
some of the stuff I watched with Varg.
Yeah.
He's an interesting character.
Interesting is putting it mildly.
Yeah. I mean, he did just get arrested like a year ago again in France for having a bunch of illegal weapons and all this crazy shit with his wife. Just after he got out of prison.
Jesus. The guy can't stay out of trouble.
Yeah, he did 23 years for killing,
Erroneous?
Yeah. And he got out and he's just like, I'm gonna go to France and just do other stupid shit. It's like, come on, man. Just stick with your music and, write a blog or something.
Yeah. Keep doing those bizarre YouTube vlogs.
Yeah.
Where he's always in a car. It's so weird.
Is he?
Yeah, in his fucking YouTube vlog. I think it's called like the Thulian perspective. Yeah, he's always in a fucking truck.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I've never watched too many of his stuff besides like Until the Light Takes Me, which was more of a documentary, and then some of a little bit of his YouTube stuff, and some documentaries on YouTube about the black metal scene, but I've never... Yeah,
check out his YouTube channel, because he, basically he's wearing hunter camouflage all the time. He's always out in the woods. He's turned into, like, a European redneck. It's very bizarre.
Yeah, I've noticed he likes to wear camo, and I'm like, what exactly is going on here? Because I wouldn't expect Mark to be wearing camo all the time. Those people that like jerk off like Cabela's, and you always see them. There's like, hunt, and you're just like, yeah, we get it. Your truck's covered in stickers with deer horns and shit. Like, we know.
Oh yeah, I never got that. No, they're always sucking on dip and shit.
Yeah, it's whatever. But anywho, we're gonna take a short break here, and we will get back to back to Bert and Ernie's wonderful, crazy sex life.
Okay, welcome back. I know this episode has been a little bit rough. We jumped in there without lube, sort of like Bert and Ernie's sex life. Although I guess they use spit to lube that up, Bert blowing them and everything.
Maybe they hire like somebody just to come there and just like what didn't Bert and Ernie have like a kid or something they walked around with? What's that kid's name? God. Yeah, that was maybe was that like their anal baby, or how did that work?
No, I think that was like one of their nephew. Like either
Do you
Bert.
think they paid them to spit in their asshole just to like lube it up, or?
Well, I mean, if they're Catholic, most certainly.
I gotta figure out what this kid's name is. I'm Googling it.
All right. Well,
Fuck, what was his name?
while Harry is Googling, I'm going to do a little bit of a plug for what I'm drinking. I'm drinking a session pale ale called Shred, and it's apparently by a microbrewery called Pizza Port out of Indiana. It's pretty cool, and it has one of those black metal guys from a band called 1349 on the label. It looks really cool, and tastes damn good. Really hoppy.
I might have to give them a try. Is it something you can order online, or how does that work?
I don't know. I just kind of found it, and I saw the dude wearing corpse paint on the label, and I was like, oh shit.
So here's basically how it went, I'm assuming. You looked at it, you went corpse paint, black metal, I'm sold.
Yes. That, and
I would be too.
I've also met this guy in person that's on the cover, so I mean.
Okay, so a little bit of a bias there, but you were like, meh.
Yeah, a little bit of nostalgia.
I gotcha. Okay, so their kid's name is Brad? There's a video called, Bert and Ernie gives Brad a bath, which I'm guessing that did not go how they expected. It did not turn into just a bath, but...
Oh, no.
And it's like this pissy-looking little Bert, but it has orange hair, so I'm really confused to figure out what to have maybe Ernie's eyes and Bert's nose or something like that, but whatever. Yeah, so I'm drinking Kraken right now. I'm sure a lot of people know what Kraken is. If you don't, it is, what would you call it? It's just basically a whiskey. Right?
It's a spiced rum.
Oh, it's a rum. That's right.
Why is the rum gone?
Whiskey for some reason. It's good though. I like it better than Captain, although Captain is pretty good. Sailor Jerry's not bad either.
Yeah. There's actually one night when my buddy and I it was over in Lubbock, Texas, at some bar. It was a college town.
I'm so sorry you were there.
Yeah, it was terrible, but anyway, we're drinking rum and Coke all night, and then I was like, can I have another Captain Morgan? And they were like, yeah, we're out of Captain Morgan. So we ended up drinking a whole bottle of Kraken, and my buddy's all like, can I have another Kraken? They're all like, we're actually all out of rum. He stands up on his bar stool and shouts, why is the rum gone?
Did you get any good answer back from that, or?
The bartender points at him and shouts, you drank it, you drunk!
Nice! So, did it end up going anywhere? Did people oh, hey, we're with this guy, or how did that go?
Yeah. And then my buddy just kind of stops and goes, all right, that's fair, and he sits down. and that was it. It was really, really funny at the time. It's less climactic than I would like it to be, but still.
We'll still go with it. Yeah, so speaking of rum, one of the rums I really liked that I recently came across, I don't want to say recently, but within the past year, Bacardi. I had Bacardi Silver in Hawaii when I was out there.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, you guys got any Captain, or what do you got? And they're like, well, we have some Captain. We also got Bacardi and all that. And I was like, you know what? I've had Captain. I'm pretty sure everybody who's drank rum has had Captain. I'm going to try Bacardi. And I liked it. It was, they mixed it with Pepsi though instead of Coke, but it was pretty good.
I do like Bacardi a lot. Bacardi is actually surprisingly good when you mix it with Sprite.
Really?
For whatever reason. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had that.
Yeah, it's very, very, very strange, but it works. Yeah, you get creative when you become an alcoholic.
Speaking of creative, well, actually, I guess it's not creative, but what is it? Turkey. What is that? Wild turkey. Wild turkey and ginger ale is actually a pretty good mix. I heard a lot of people say, oh yeah, wild turkey and Mountain Dew and wild turkey and Pepsi and all these other things, but wild turkey and ginger ale is pretty good. And so is, okay, so a little bit out there, rum shada and root beer. It tastes like a root beer float.
Huh.
I'm telling you, man, you gotta try it. It's dangerous, though. You drink it and you're like, this does not taste like alcohol at all. And you drink 2 of them or 3 of them and you're like, okay, I'm feeling it. So, yeah, it is really good, though. I had it for New Year's probably 4 years ago.
Nice.
It was good. It was definitely worth the hype that I heard from the people who gave it to me. Because before that, I had not heard it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you gotta try rum chata with root beer," and I was like, "Yeah, okay, we'll try it." And yeah, it was good. It was one of those. I'm sure a lot of people out there have had it, but it was one of those things that I personally had never heard of, and I enjoyed it.
All right, that is interesting.
Speaking of drinking, I don't even know how this relates to it at all, but I think we were going to get into, even though we didn't get through all of the Bert and Ernie sex story, we were going to talk about. What was it, tits and Skype or something?
Yeah. So, Skyping, like, I haven't used Skype in forever, and recently I just had to unlock my password, and I saw on my contacts list this one girl that, like, she used to live about 4 hours away from me, but we were dating at the time, and, like, she was all about just using Skype for, like, Skype sex. And that was a really weird thing, because, like, honestly, it's less like sex and more like guided meditation, except for instead of meditating, it's masturbating. So you're doing like a guided masturbation session with somebody who's just like making eye contact in the camera. It's so bizarre, yeah.
Speaking of that, though, I had this time, I don't want to say dating, but like we had a thing. And we got on Skype, and it turned into kind of one of those things. But it turned into me putting it all out on the table, trying to just be like, you know what? I really want to see the tits.
Right.
And it turned out in my favor. I was like, let's play some games online. It was like a Skype thing, or it was like when Windows had the Microsoft MSN chat or whatever it was. They had games built into it. We played Connect 4, or not Connect 4. It was Uno. We played Uno.
Okay.
And I was like, every time we win, somebody has to take off an article of clothing. It would turn into like kind of like a strip Uno. Okay. And I won every single fucking round. I did not have to take off anything.
Yes.
It was great. And after, I would say, about 5 or 6 rounds in a row of me winning, which maybe she was doing it on purpose, but I don't think she was, it was her basically just in her underwear topless, and it was wonderful. It was one of the best Uno times of my life. I mean, generally when you're talking about Uno, you're like, yeah, it's Uno. It's a fun game, but meh. No, this was like, fuck yeah, Uno.
It was fuck yeah, Uno.
Yeah, it was a good time, and it wasn't just like, oh hey, look, boobs. I'm talking this woman, very attractive and probably like triple D's. This was amazing, and she was not big. Like she wasn't like a chubby woman, which is that's fine. I don't care about chubby women; that they look good too. But this was one of those very rare occasions where you just really appreciate how the body had done its thing.
Oh god, yeah, that's just like a winning scenario. Like, and she had Uno Mas pieces of clothes. She had Uno Mas pieces of clothes on.
Oh yeah, it was so good. It was down to her, and now I'm not gonna say she didn't feel awkward. I could tell she felt awkward, but she was also into it at the same time. If that makes sense. Yeah. She's like, I feel awkward, but meh. But yeah, it was definitely a good Skype Uno time.
Oh yeah, that's great. And shout out if she's listening.
I doubt it. Our like total of 3 listeners.
Well,
everybody else is like, oh, they're talking about Bert and Ernie having sex. Nah, I'm good.
The funny thing is though, the girl that I mentioned, this is something that she would listen to, so she probably knows who she is.
So maybe you should send her a link to it then.
Oh, God.
Because, I mean, this being the first episode, this is going on YouTube, so.
Alright, yes.
Yeah, we gotta make a 2 Assholes and Beer, YouTube channel. I haven't even done that yet. So that's for those listening, like, all 2.5, 3 people. And I say 2.5 people because, we count women as a half a person. But, no. Yeah, so we got to get that done.
Yeah, Two Assholes and Beer on YouTube. And then we should also do a Two Assholes and Beer like Facebook or Twitter or whatnot.
I think we should. I think we should definitely do a Twitter, because I think a lot of our text conversations that we've talked about between each other have been really good, that we could screenshot and put on there for entertainment purposes. And I think who actually find what we're saying, like the 3 people that find what we're saying funny, would enjoy our text.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, in case you're wondering, we are complete misogynists in real life as well. This is not a front that we're putting on.
Yeah. I mean,
this is
every woman I find, even if I'm like at a restaurant or something, I'm like, oh my god, woman, just make the fucking pancakes right or something. And it just...
Every time I see a woman in public that I like, I'm like, why has no man put her in the kitchen yet? Why is she not wearing a ring?
It is ridiculous. You see these women walking around shopping. Well, you know what? If they're grocery shopping, it's one thing. But if you're out at, the mall and you see them at JCPenney or Dillard's or something shopping, or was it Macy's or whatever, it's like, why are you not in the kitchen making a sandwich right now? This is unacceptable. This is not what American traditions are based on. This is not how we need to run our country.
I forgive them as soon as I see them go to either the men's section or the children's section, because then I know she's just doing a fucking job.
Why the children's section, though?
To shop for clothes for her kids.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
I guess that would make sense. But what about the men's section, though? How about the men's section?
Yeah, she's shopping for her husband, because we don't want to fucking shop.
Yeah, that's true. I hate shopping. I don't know about you, man, but I hate shopping. Every time I go out, I'm just like, oh my god, I do not want to even look for this pair of fucking shoes or something. Just no, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's the fucking worst. And then you gotta try shit on, and then it's just fucking.
Trying shit on is worse than like an 8-hour workday.
Oh my god.
It really is. Like, just last weekend, I went to Dick's Sporting Goods and got a pair of running shoes, which they were Nike, and I was like, oh, God, no. Because, we're going to kneel for the flag, but I went there and got a pair of shoes, and just the fact that I took like 10 minutes in the store to look for a pair of running shoes killed me, and it was only 10 minutes.
I know.
I don't want to do it. I just want them to magically show up at my door, and that's what I'm going to wear.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I can't wait till Amazon just gets drones so you can just, like, order a drone for a fitting.
Right? But I'm going to be honest, I kind of feel like if Amazon did do drones, I would want to shoot it. Not because I'm trying to steal stuff. Like, I won't even care about what they're carrying. I just want to, there it is, and I got to do something.
No, yeah. It would be like skeet shooting instead of, you don't have to shout. Yeah, you don't have to shout pull. It's just already up there.
Yeah, skeet shooting. Well, I mean, also you don't have to yell about the cum either when you do it, but,
Yeah. So this is why they're trying to take away our... Amazon is trying to take away our guns so we don't shoot their drone.
Yeah, speaking of Amazon wanting to take away guns, Washington and Seattle not too long ago was having issues where they were trying to add, I think it was, now I don't want to say this is 100% correct, it was something like $275 per employee added tax for the state that was going to go toward, or not towards for the state, but for Seattle that was going to go towards homeless people to help remedy some of the issues, because Seattle has a very, very high homeless population.
Oh, yeah, because it's a city populated by hipsters. I mean, hipsters they already look like homeless people. So, like, honestly, anybody with a job is like, oh, my God, look at all these homeless, bearded, flannel-wearing assholes with, like, holes all in their pants. They must be homeless.
So here's the question. How do you determine if a person is a hipster or homeless? Because they look pretty...
Oh, they're completely interchangeable. How many hipsters do you know with a real job?
That's true.
I mean, either they're homeless, they're squatting, or they're couch surfing.
Yeah, the couch surfing is quite a bit. They're kind of like young Bernie Sanders. They're just...
Exactly. Just writing poetry about masturbation and shitting in a bucket.
Yeah, basically everybody who's listening, like the one person who is a Bernie Sanders fan listening right now is like, oh my god, that's just not him. He's just the greatest person.
Yeah, you can
just,
go
like,
fuck yourself.
They just logged out right now. Yeah, go fuck yourself.
You fucking Tommy. Go to Venezuela.
Yeah, now that we've successfully completely removed all people listening, and for the like one person listening right now, fuck you too for whatever you like.
Oh god, yeah. So look out for us on Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. 2 assholes and beer. I think that's going to be the number 2, right? Not spelled out.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah. And in case you were listening and really confused and you wanted to say something to us, I mean, you were just listening to 2 assholes and beer. What did you expect? I mean, it's in the title.
We're gonna trigger everybody.
I'm okay with that.
That's my goal every day that I wake up. I just think about ways I can trigger people. How can I trigger my boss? How can I trigger my dog?
How can
I trigger that homeless? Oh man, it's really easy. I tell him that I have food for him, and as soon as he comes running, I just blow on that dog whistle right in his face.
Well, that's better than when I thought I was going to go. I thought I was going to go towards like blowing the dog or something. Be like, I don't know how that's triggering your dog, nor do I know how that's helping you. But
or I could just put peanut butter all over my balls.
Yeah, there you go. Come here, Wolfie. All the PETA people out there are like, oh my god, you cannot have your dog lick your nuts. And I say, yes, I can.
And I will continue to do so. He doesn't complain.
No, never. Wolfie never complains.
I mean, he's always trying to hump me, so I figure I should get something in return, right?
Oh, so it's like a revenge thing. It's like, yeah, you're trying to always hump me, so I'm gonna have you try to lick my nuts, bitch. And you're
I'm not gonna have him try to. Like, he's going for it.
Yeah, I mean, once they're going for it, once they're going for it, you just gotta let it happen. You can't stop it.
No, exactly. You know, like, I knew what I was getting myself into.
I think that's gonna... Huh?
Yeah, needless to say, neither of us are ever running for public office.
Oh, yeah, God, no. This would come up. Actually, yeah, this would come up and they'd be like, no. Although I feel like it is kind of a requirement to be some sort of a sexual predator to run for office now. At least how the Democrats are pushing it, but...
yeah, absolutely. I'm willing to bet that, like, half of the people on the Kavanaugh panel are doing the same thing with their dog.
Do they blame the dog for it, though? Or how does that work?
Yeah, they absolutely do blame the dog for it. They're like, Kavanagh's absolutely reprehensible. And then they go home, they come here, Fido. Daddy's got to express some rage.
Come get some Jiffy. What do you think? That's going to wrap it up for this episode?
Yeah. Look for us on Facebook and Twitter and, yeah, of course, YouTube. And, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. So that's it for this week's podcast, or whatever you want to call it. Fuckcast, or just complete train wreck. 2 assholes and beer. What did you expect?